Okay, Namaskaram, Sat Sri Akal, Jai Jainendra, and Vande Mataram, everyone. Sarvebhyo Namaha. Welcome to Karma Kshetra. Thank you for joining me today. The topic of today's monologue is Hindu phobia of Wikipedia. Well, that rhymed. Okay, so Wikipedia has sort of emerged as a key source. Not really now, we cannot really say emerged. It is very much established as a key source, at least at a beginner level, for information on any topic or personality around the world in the last 15, 20 years. I've been using it myself for quite some time. But like over the last couple of years, I've just like reduced a lot of reliance on Wikipedia, especially for in-depth research or like any type of research. Unless like there's some quick factoid I need, then I would probably go there. But otherwise, I've reduced it a lot. Now the thing is like the convenience of finding a very summarized version of all aspects relating to any topic has made Wikipedia the site of choice. Just like Google has synonymous with searching online, we search if a topic has a Wikipedia page to begin with. So that's where we go and look for information. However, over the years, one would have realized, and I certainly have, that this convenience actually comes at a cost. And the cost is the accuracy and unbiasedness of the information. And while the political aspect of biasness is one thing, when it comes to Hindu faith or Sanatana Dharma, the racism and anti paganism couldn't be more apparent. Now, imagine if, like, an average Hindu boy or girl in his or her teens or early adulthood, the amount of vitriol that gets fed by Wikipedia, what impact does it have on the mind of the child? Uh, when they believe, especially when they believe Wikipedia is a know it all of the information sphere on a particular topic. Like for parents, like Wikipedia becomes one of the sources on how their kids will become deracinated Hindus, ashamed of their identity, ashamed of their history, apologetic of their practices, dismissive of the about the persecution of their ancestors, and unhinged like from their own family. Time and again, like shenanigans, like demonizing Hindu symbols, one-sided anti-Hindu record of events, glorifying invaders, whitewashing atrocities or genocides on Hindus, denying Hinduphobia, promoting conspiracy theories against Hindus, wrecking pages of Sanatani scholars who don't subscribe to the Hinduphobic narrative, and many other extreme left actions have been called out. And I shouldn't say extreme left only, even the right, extreme right, or the right is pretty much on the same path. But from what I have read or researched so far, I don't think there's much right about when I say right, I'm talking about political right. There's not much political right in the Hindu Wikipedia editorial circuit. Uh, Now, if this all looks like exaggeration to you or some sort of doomsday call or is just hyperbole, I'll actually give a couple of examples on some of the instances when Hinduphobia of Wikipedia was on steroids and blatant display. So we'll take about like 7, 8 examples and go through them and then understand how the Hinduphobia in Wikipedia plays out. Okay, so let's start with swastika. So the first topic I took was is swastika, and I looked at the Wikipedia page of swastika, and what I realized it incorrectly mentions phrases like appropriation by Nazi Party, or phrase like German Nazi Party adopted the swastika as an emblem of the Aryan race, saying that Nazi Party adopted swastika. So it's a lie. Now, for those who are not aware about the history of swastika, let me give you a brief about swastika. And uh, I would like to give a shout out to Coalition of Hindus of North America here for doing some amazing research on this. And uh, Mm, this is I'll mention all the sources about, and not just about swastika, but all the topics that I'm talking about here. I'll mention all the sources in the description so that you can also go through it and understand it in more detail, because there's always certain limitations. We are taking up like 7 8 topics over here, and there's a time limitation. I want to be brief as well. But if you want to uh, deep dive into this, you can always look into the sources and go and understand it in more detail. Um, okay, so coming back to swastika, so swastika is, for those who don't know, like swastika is a sacred symbol for more than 2 billion Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains, and it dates back thousands of years and continues to be revered even today around the world. So it's not just an ancient symbol, it's even the contemporary symbol for Hindus and even Jains and Buddhists. Uh, Basically, all dharmic fold organization. Dharmic fold religions, if you would say, or faiths. Hindu texts and scriptures make like several references to the Dham swastika in the context of peace and well-being, even as a yogic posture, and can often be seen in Hindu homes, mandirs, and sacred temples and shrines, especially to mark new beginnings. For Buddhists, the swastika represents footprints of Buddha. For Jains, it represents tradition's seven spiritual leader. Hindus draw a swastika whenever there is a new beginning, be it like buying a new house or new car, as a symbol of good luck. In case of Native Americans and First Nations of Canada, and I guess probably even the non-Hindus would know about this, the swastika appears on the beadwork, basketry, pottery, and jewelry of so many tribes, from Iroquois in the northeast to the Sioux and Comanche in of the upper Midwest and Great Plains, to Apache and Navajo and Pima of the Southwest, and like Tlingit and Maka tribes of Pacific Northwest. So it has, even though the name was not swastika, but it was uh, the symbol was there for many such tribes. And unfortunately, after the Second World War, they were bullied into giving up that symbol by the administrations in US and Canada. So if swastika is all this, what was Hitler using? So the Nazi symbol of hate was actually Hakenkreuz in German, or hooked cross in English. So the German language has various words ending with Kreuz. Kreuz being spelled Kreuz, and it being cross. So such as like Christian Kreuz is Christian cross, Ritter Kreuz is Knight cross, Balkenkreuz is beam cross, Krummkreuz is crook cross. Now, incidentally, the first translation of the autobiography of Hitler by the Englishman E.T.S. Dugdale, who was fluent in German, he translated Hitler's autobiography in 1931 and accurately translated relevant passages and never once used the word swastika. However, it was the second translated autobiography by James Vincent Murphy which became popular and that deliberately mistranslated Hakenkreuz into swastika while leaving other German words in original form or translating them properly in English. Unfortunately, the media organizations in the West, like New York Times or Hollywood, played a key role in spreading this mistranslation to the masses, including Jewish people. So, is Wikipedia unaware that Hitler's symbol is Hakenkreuz and not swastika? Or is Wikipedia unaware that Hitler never used swastika in his speeches or autobiography? And when I say autobiography, I'm talking about the untranslated German version. But he instead used the word Hakenkreuz, which is hooked cross in English, to describe his symbol. And if any symbol was appropriated or adopted by Hitler's Nazi party, it was Hakenkreuz or hooked cross and not swastika. So I think Wikipedia's editors need to educate themselves if they are not already to and make sure the things are crystal clear on the swastika's Wikipedia page and not just allegation or supposed things. They ought to mention the facts. Uh, and like the question is, so in spite of all this pool of information available in public domain, why are they still engaged in demonizing the sacred Hindu symbol of swastika? The second example I would go into will be the Wikipedia page of Sati, and this really blew my mind, literally. Like, so I'll give a background. So the Wikipedia page on Sati uh, alleges that the Mughals banned Sati. The article claims, and now for those who don't know, Sati was basically um when a wife immolates herself in the pyre when with the husband, uh, when the husband dies. Um, that was uh, supposedly it is called a practice, but the thing is the word practice gives a connotation that it was something widespread, which was not true. So the article claims that the elite Rajput clans practiced it. It also uses the word "become more widespread," meaning it was widespread already, suggesting that it was a regular practice. Maybe like the reporters or the editors of Wikipedia, for them, like what Minakshi Jain, who is a noted historian of medieval and colonial India, like what she found probably doesn't really matter. What also doesn't matter for the editors of Wikipedia is that even in the recorded cases of Sati, as Meenakshi Jain says, and I quote, in all these instances that we have cited so far, we see the relatives and or the onlookers trying to persuade women, don't do this. We don't come across in any of these cases forcible compulsion on women asking her to immolate herself. In all these, the brother, the father, they are all trying to persuade her not to do it, but she does it. I would really recommend this one video titled Incidents of Sati in Ancient India by Meenakshi Jain. It's, I think, not a long video, it's about a 10-minute video for everyone to watch it. I'll put the link in the description of the podcast. Uh, Now, what is amazing that even as the editors of Wikipedia mention that, and I quote, during the early modern Mughal period of 1526 to 1857, it was notably associated with elite Rajput clans in Western India. Quote end. They fail to make a connection. Uh, Secondly, what they're calling Sati is actually Johar. Thirdly, have the editors of Wikipedia heard the name term necrophilia? Like whitewashing one of the most perverse forms of objectification of women by saying that they prevented women from dying, but conveniently omitting what the Mughals did with a live woman is the worst form of editorial practice I've seen in my life. And portraying them as champions of women's rights is the highest form of mental gymnastics. This thing sealed the deal for me for not my waste my hard-earned money on Wikipedia ever again. And yeah, okay, I guess I didn't mention it before. I even donated, I think, couple of times to Wikipedia because initially, like thought it was doing a good job using making information available. But then, what kind of information is like when you dig deep, you realize. And then I've stopped donating the money. I get an email every year. I reply to them what was the issue, and then what happens is like the email comes from the Wikimedia Foundation, but the promotion is on Wikipedia pages. So, but when we talk to them about Wikipedia, the issues with it, they say, "Oh, we are different. We are not really with Wikipedia. If you have issue with Wikipedia, right here, right there, things like that." So I stopped like wasting my time and money on this. Um, Coming back to the topic, I think they need to watch this 1.5 hour talk. I know people these days everything want everything in 30 seconds, but like proper knowledge requires time. But I think Wikipedia editors need to watch this 1.5 hour talk by Sai Priya, who is a doctor by training and currently a student of law. She's a senior fellow in policy and culture at Brihat, which is a think tank, if I may say, working in the areas of cultural, creatives, uh, policy research, and leadership development. She's also an independent researcher of Indian history, religion, and contemporary issues with strengths in intersection of law, policy, and culture. Now, she gave a fantastic and detailed understanding of the history of Islamic slavery in India, and people should watch it. I'll put the description, put the link in the description as well. Uh, Coming to the third point, which is showing Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose as anti-Semitic. Now, in the Wikipedia page of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, they squarely call Netaji an anti-Semite. And the article even goes on to calling him a Nazi, Mussolini sympathizer, essentially trying to call him fascist, which is quite typical these days. Like you are a fascist is a new I hate you. Uh, if I go by what I think this was said by Bill Maher. No, sorry, Bill Maher. Yeah, I suppose Bill Maher. Yeah, but yeah, this is like everybody is a fascist who is not with whom I don't agree is like the national anthem for the leftist. Now what is troubling here is that the very source the editors at Wikipedia mentioned as the basis of for calling him the anti-Semite, which is a book by Romain Hayes called Subhash Chandra Bose in Nazi Germany. It specifies the lack of evidence for the same. The quote cited says the question, and I quote, the question that inevitably arises is what was his attitude to the greatest act of large scale industrial mass murder in history, one that was committed in his presence? That Bose chose to be silent is a testimony in itself. Would it have made any difference had he spoken out? If not to the Jews, then at least to his historical legacy? His biographer even implies that Bose wrote a partially anti Semitic article for Goebbels' newspaper Der Angriff. Interestingly, the article in question has never been found. Yes, so interestingly, the article in question has never been found, but it certainly did elicit a hostile reaction from the Jewish Chronicle, which denounced Bose as, in quotes, India's anti-Jewish quisling, quote end. There seems to be a precedent for this insensitivity towards a, quote, Jewish question. Already before the war, Bose had not particularly welcomed attempts to grant Jewish refugees asylum in India, quote ends. So this was the citation provided, and we can see in the citation things like Bose chose to be silent, which is sort of an insinuation more than a fact. Um, Secondly, the article in question has never been found. So the entire premise on which they are calling Bose an anti Semite is based on an article that doesn't exist. How is Wikipedia relying on a source that contradicts itself? And like a careful reading of the sources suggests that the Wikipedia editors chose lack of evidence as proof of guilt rather than proof of innocence. At many places in this page, the editors of Wikipedia attempt to bootleg Nehru Gandhi, trying to project them as more intellectually and ethically honest than Bose. So this goes with the larger propaganda of the left, where everyone other than Nehru Gandhi is a Nazi sympathizer, anti-Semite, a Zionist, or even all three together. So someone can be a Nazi sympathizer as well as Zionist at the same time. Amazing. So and the examples like Savarkar, RSS, or Hindu Mahasabha, everyone has been projected like that. Now, having said that, this is a highly reckless and a pathetic attempt by the editors at Wikipedia at the character assassination of one of the greatest freedom fighters of India. And if we go by the sources, he was the character responsible for the India's freedom uh, through INA and INA trials, and which resulted in military coup, navy coup against the British, which made them leave India immediately. So this was one example of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. Going forward, uh, going to the fourth one, which is about denying the Kashmiri Hindu genocide. Now, the Wikipedia page of Kashmir Files calls the movie fictional and propaganda, and denies the genocide of innocent Kashmiri Hindus in spite of the movie being literally made based on the testimonials of Kashmiri Hindus who faced genocide. The page writes, and I quote, "It depicts the exodus and the events leading up to it as a genocide." Quote end. And looking at the sources for the introduction paragraph, one finds BBC, Al Jazeera, The Hindu, Scroll.in, News Laundry, and Time, all of them demonizing the movie as well as the assertion of Kashmiri Hindu genocide. So the page and at many places also makes use of quotations for certain words, including genocide, to ensure that the genocide keeps getting denied. And while talking about the recent Nadav, or I may say Danav, Nadav Lepid's Hinduphobic statements, the paragraph only talks about the support he received, which was only three members of the jury, while completely and conveniently ignoring the Israelis, including the Consul General Kobi Shoshani and Israeli Ambassador Noah Gilon, who condemned Lapid's statements in the strongest terms. The talk section of the page reveals the political leanings of the editors of Wikipedia very clearly. So I would urge you guys to go and check it. Um, Calling Kashmir Files as propaganda is like calling Schindler's List the same. Does Wikipedia have an answer on like how more than 300,000, and these are government figures, actual number goes up to 500,000, how 3,000 Kashmiri Hindus vanished from the Kashmir Valley. Like denying genocide is actually enabling it. And Wikipedia owners and editors should remember that. Taking one more example, which is, and we have seen this was actually quite a chatter on Twitter as well, with respect to deletion of and vandalization of Wikipedia pages of like authors and journalists with whom Wikipedia editors do not align in terms of political leanings. To give an example, like in March 2022, following the movie Kashmir Files release, the Wikipedia pages of Chaiti Narula and Tuhin Sinha, who were supportive of the movie, were deleted. And before getting deleted, Chaiti Narula's page was vandalized, including deletion of her review of the movie The Kashmir Files, and it was done by the same person, the account Trenga Bellam, who vandalized Kashmir Files movies page, and both the edited edits were made at the same time. Wikipedia editors also launched attack on scholars like Vikram Sampath and Sanjeev Sanyal, with whom they don't agree, vandalizing their pages with like baseless accusations. Most of have been comprehensively debunked as uh, what was appalling is that the person who made these baseless accusations proudly announced on Twitter about Wikipedia playing a puppet to them. And the editors also vandalized Sanjeev Sanyal's page in a similar manner. In fact, a JNU professor, Anand Ranganathan's Wikipedia page was deleted altogether. So, such behavior doesn't really inspire any confidence in Wikipedia editors. And I guess by this time, based on the above examples, early examples as well, which I talked about, it would be fairly obvious about how much confidence Hindus should have on Wikipedia editors. The next topic discuss is about denying Hinduphobia. So Wikipedia engages quite. We have seen in case of Kashmir Files how they did that. But here I'm taking the example of the talk page of the anti-Hindu sentiment. Uh, so anti-Hindu sentiment is a page, and within there, normally Wikipedia pages have the main page on which the information is there, and then there is a talk page which talks about the conversations the editors of the page have on various issues. So here, the talk page denies have conversations which denies Hindu phobia. So while their anti-Hindu stance under the pretext of being anti-Modi or anti-BJP is like more than clear, what was more amazing is the excuse they provide to deny the use of the word Hinduphobia. So in the talk section of the page, uh, it is mentioned, and I quote, "I have no problem with documented cases of prejudice if they exist, but I don't see the point of narrating the Hindutva propaganda and then spending enormous amount of energy in shooting it down." Quotes end. True. Why give different perspectives, right? Yeah, just show the one which you agree with and like hide the rest. It becomes very easy to manage the page like that. Now, if this is not like lazy editorial standards, then what is? And in addition to like one of their editors refused to use the term Hinduphobia while accusing a well-respected organization in US of having, and I quote, roots in Hindu nationalist organizations and like having quote unquote agenda. So this is precisely the definition of Hinduphobia. Like as mentioned, if you go to the understanding Hinduphobia page.org slash working hyphen definitions, like Hindus are often accused of the split loyalty or dual loyalty, whatever you say, but in Western world these days where they are being uh, told to have allegiances with some organizations and some personalities, some political parties in other countries, and in this case, India. And this plays out well with the right wing as well, right? Because they are also anti-immigration, and then so this accusation of dual loyalty actually hands them a opportunity to demonize Hindus further. So extreme left accuses any Hindu who challenges them to be having a political agenda linked with some political party halfway across the globe. Unfortunately, what we see is Wikipedia editors are also engaging themselves in the same. So there seems to be, yeah, some correlation. Now, coming to the second last example, um, in the Wikipedia page of uh, Jai Shri Ram, so there's a Wikipedia page for the slogan Jai Shri Ram itself. The editors make a preposterous claim that Jai Shri Ram is a battle cry, quote unquote, and like hyperlinking it to define it as a yell or a chant taken up in battle, usually by members of some combatant group. Now, some of you probably remember there were a couple of tweets around this where some journalists, so called journalists, I would say, on some academics also tweeted out the same thing. So, one may say, like, you can realize how from where the genesis is. Now, the article also goes on to write, and I quote, the slogan has since then been employed for perpetration of communal violence against people of other faiths. Quote end. A quick look at the sources. We get the usual suspects: New York Times, Scroll.in, and like known Hindu phobes like Anantanand Rambachan and Christoph Chaffrelot. So, describing a humble greeting as a battle cry, it depicts like the vicious hatred that the editors of Wikipedia have been harboring against the Hindu community. So, and like, do the Wikipedia editors know what Shri means in Jai Shri Ram? Uh, if they have problem with Jai Shri Ram, they basically have a problem with Hindu being a Hindu, like taking what from what Mr. Alpesh Patel in UK, uh, he told, I'm forgetting the guy's name in the interview just after Leicester riots, when there was an accusation, similar accusation, that Jai Shri Ram is a battle cry or a war cry. It was a fantastic response given by Alpesh Patel to, I'm still not able to remember like who was the interviewer, but he was a British interviewer. I'm British in the sense like a white guy uh, who accused Hindus of coming up with bringing their issues into UK and all that anti-immigration thing. And as part of that, the conversation went into the slogan Jai Shri Ram. And the response was good, that it's basically if you have a problem with Jai Shri Ram, you have a problem with Hindu being a Hindu. And like I don't appreciate organization that tries to actively trample upon my right to religious expression. Like today it is Jai Shri Ram, tomorrow it will be Jai Shri Krishna, day after tomorrow it will be Jayambe. I don't know. So moving to the last example, and this is about the Delhi riots 2020. So the Wikipedia page of Delhi riots 2020 has actually furthered the propaganda of Hinduphobia by providing a highly biased picture, and we have seen this in the depiction of 2002 Gujarat riots as well. But this being the more latest, and how the playbook keeps recycling itself. So the page starts with the first statement being, and I quote, the 2020 Delhi riots or Northeast Delhi riots were multiple waves of bloodshed, property destruction, and rioting in Northeast Delhi beginning on 23rd February 2020 and caused chiefly by Hindu mobs attacking Muslims. So a quick look, and like so at the onset itself, it blames the entire Hindu community and puts another community, entire community, as victims. So that's right from the onset. And like if we take a quick look at the two sources cited for these statements, one is Guardian, who played a key role in inciting Hinduphobia during Leicester riots as well, and the other one is New York Times. And if you look at the first paragraph of of the sources of the first paragraph itself, you have twice they have quoted Guardian, twice they have quoted New York Times, three times they have quoted Washington Post, and once they have quoted NPR. So the event happened in India. The people involved are in India, but the sources out of four, one is in UK, three are in US. And it's amazing, like how that the riots were in India and everything was in India, but the sources are from West, and that too, all of them notoriously Hinduphobic publications. And the rest of the article squarely blames only Hindus, much like how the media behaved during Leicester riots, which was comprehensively debunked by the NCRI report as well as the Henry Jackson Society report. If you have not read those two reports, go and read it. I'll put the link in the description as well. But like, just you don't even need a link. Just type in Google NCRI report Leicester riots or Henry Jackson Society report Leicester riots. You will land on that page. So while the riots in case of Delhi like happened on both sides and there were deaths on both sides, it seems like Wikipedia chose to provide only one side of the picture and paint the picture in a manner to depict one community as a villain and other community as a victim. All right, so these are only select few and the gray ones that I have highlighted. It is important for Hindus, even the well-minded and even well-minded non-Hindus, to identify the rampant, vicious, and toxic Hinduphobia of Wikipedia and ensure not to get influenced by these. More importantly, it is crucial to ensure that parents let their kids know about this, because your kid will. Today, whenever we search on Google, the first link more often than not in the search result is of Wikipedia, and your Hindu kid will go to that page and learn some crap about any event or any exodus, genocide, or anything related to Hindu faith, and then that is the impression that the child carries. So we have to make sure that that doesn't happen. And even from a non-Hindu standpoint, like Wikipedia is a waste of time. And I'll recommend everyone a video by this guy JJ McCullough. Um, he's a contributing writer or a reporter in for um, this thing, Washington Post. Okay, yeah. So he contributes to like the global opinion section of Washington Post. He's a YouTuber otherwise and writer and artist. He's in Vancouver, Canada. Now, in his one of the videos, which was titled "Why I Hate Wikipedia," into brackets, and you should too, he gave a in-depth uh, understanding of what is wrong with Wikipedia, and like to summarize, like mainly like Wikipedia is being donated heavily by Google, Apple, and Amazon in millions, and how Wikipedia replicates, you know, or sources the content, how much is the monopoly of the editors, like the Wise article in 27, which published that according to results of the recent study that looked at 250 million edits made in Wikipedia during the first 10 years, only about 1%, which is like 1300 of Wikipedia editors have generated 77% of site content. So only 1% editors are responsible for like almost more than three-fourths of the site's content. And also that these narrow gap of editors also keep an iron fist on the edits made in new contributors. And then there was he discussed about comment on the writing, and then he also gave some options to Wikipedia. But there's one quote which I really liked in the video where he said, and I quote, "A Wikipedia article is simply one take on a given topic, but these days it is often the first and the only take anyone will hear. The site's mothering dominance of the internet's information ecosystem, including through its complete integration with Google and Apple products, means that how Wikipedia chooses to frame a subject cannot help but become the first and the last frame that an enormous number of people will ever encounter on that subject." And this was very powerful statement. So with that, I leave you guys here. I think, yeah, this one was a relatively short podcast. Uh, but I hope you enjoyed the today's episode. Do let me know your thoughts, comments, critiques in the comment section. Um, pa- and if you have listened so far, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. If you like the content, please press the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, and press the like button. This all of this definitely like helps me in get encouragement to create more such content for you. This is Karma Kshetra signing off. Jai Somnath.